thumbs up to make my cold go away. I'm still sick. So I spent almost a decade living in France, and when we left, I was really sad about it, and I never realized how much I just grew to love France. And so here are 5 things that I miss from France. Number 1, our house. My husband and I bought a house, our first house in France, and this house was our forever house. It was the perfect house. It was a house that had a cherry tree, and it was a big cherry tree, and we would go out and we would eat so many cherries. We hated cherries by the end of it, and anything that can be made with cherries, I made it. Cherry jelly, vodka cherries, pickled cherries, cherry pie. I loved my house for my cherry tree, and we had this barn that we were eventually going to convert in case like our parents needed to live there when they got old. And then 6 years later, my husband was let go from his job, and we had to let the house go. And I really miss our house and our cherry tree. And we had apple trees. We had lots of fruit, and it was nice because that was less money we spent at the grocery store. Number 2, my host family. So when I was 16, I came to France for the first time, and I stayed for a school year with my host family. And when we lived in France, they were about 2 hours away, and now they're 7 hours away. And I miss them so much because we would go and visit them for Easter and for Christmas and for New Year and all the really big holidays, because his family was 5 hours away and they were just closer, and I miss them so much. Fun little side note though, 2 hours away for me was not that far away by American standards, but by European standards, that's the equivalent of almost living in another country. Number 3, our small town. So I lived in the suburb of a suburb. So the big town over was called Cherries, and it had a population of about 500 to 700, depending on where you look. The data is really old, and the town's sort of grown a little bit. And I lived not in the town itself, but a little ways away, and we had 18 houses. And I loved our little neighborhood because it was amusing. Our neighbors across the road, who was this retired old couple who were very nice and constantly helped us, just sort of said the most random and amusing things, like the fact that they didn't know the neighbors on the other side of our small little road because they were too far away. And I find that really funny, and I miss everyone there because since it was so small, we knew everybody. We would go to the bakery every day, and we would go and buy pizza at the local pizzeria, which was owned by this lovely couple, once a week. And we knew the people who made the kebabs because we would go there once a week, and we knew the people who worked at the grocery store. And it was so sad when we actually left because we were saying goodbye to so many people, and if anybody from Charlestonville is watching, I love you. Number 4, variety of produce. So if you don't know, France is pretty much a valley that is naturally irrigated by 4 rivers, which makes it the perfect place to grow food. And you see this whenever you go to the grocery store because the fresh food produce section is gigantic. I would even say that by American standards. There's just so much different kinds of food that you can choose from. For example, grapes. In America, you have 2 varieties, the green kind and the purple kind. But in France, it's a rainbow of grapes. So many different types of grapes, and it's the same for potatoes. I know potatoes come from Idaho, and then there's the red ones. But no, in France, there's white ones, there's red ones, there's purple ones, there's all these different types of potatoes, and you use one potato if you're gonna make French fries, or another potato if you're going to bake them. And then there's a whole variety of lettuce, and they're really good lettuces. I didn't know that these things existed when I went there. And the first time I saw it, I was a bit overwhelmed, but then I got used to it. The fresh produce section is just sad. I miss all the variety. Number 5, wine. I've gotten used to whenever I would go to somebody's house and they'd ask you if you want something to drink, the beverage of choice was typically wine. I'm really excited to be living in Belgium and to learn about Belgian beer culture, but it does sort of throw me for a loop when I go to someone's house and they say, hey, would you like something to drink? And I said, okay, yeah, what are my choices? Well, we have beer, we have soda, we have iced tea, we have water, but there's never any wine, and I sort of miss wine. So those are 5 things that I miss from France. Thumbs up to make my cold go away. Subscribe to stalk me, leave me comments to feed me, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you tomorrow. Tot ziens, mijn appelziens.